Hey everyone, today I wanted to share an absolute gem. Call me way behind, I know, this is not exactly a new title, but it's my very first novel that I've ever read of Jenny Colgan. It was published way back in 2007, so definitely not a new published book or a new gem, but a new gem for me. It's not my typical genre that I'll go for. I just always found that the things that you would read on holiday or on a beach a little bit too airy-fairy for me, so I kind of like things that are a bit more grit to them and I get my teeth into, and then I'm forced to think outside the box, and you're curious and you're wondering if you're picking the right culprit or suspect. Obviously this is not the type of necessarily reads that I would go for in these sorts of women's fiction, what I would call women's fiction. However, the reason I call it a gem is because if I just read the first two chapters and left it, I'd be like, oh my god, I'd never read another Jenny Colgan again, I'll never read another woman's fiction. It was just not for me. But when I got past the first two chapters, on a personal note, that was when I began to really enjoy the story more. Definitely more halfway through, it becomes a little bit more almost suspicious. It sort of reminds me of those kind of screwball 1960s comedy rom-coms, like with Dean Martin or Sharon Tate or somebody like that. But they were, yeah, those movies were really funny. Like, it wouldn't be my favourite movies, even though I like older movies. And so that would not be the type of books I would necessarily go for. But in this case, I have to say this was started in England and then transports you to the south of France, and from there it becomes goofy, silly, outlandish, but also it comes together. There's parts of it and you're like, oh my god, that was so not going to happen, that is so cliche, but in the end it actually all comes together perfectly, and to my own surprise I actually really enjoyed it. So I would definitely recommend Operation Sunshine by Jenny Colgan, and I will now be partying with this book to make way for new books to read, enjoy and to bring to you. But I'm going to definitely get a few more of her books, because this one was an absolute shocker. It was a shockeroo for me in a good way. So thoroughly recommend if you want a happy read that is a little bit naff, but a little bit, you know, unrealistic but potentially possible, if that makes sense, without giving too much away. So thumbs up for me. So the blurb for Operation Sunshine by Jenny Colgan is: Evie needs a good holiday, not just because she's been working all hours in her job, but also because every holiday she has ever been on has involved sunburn, arguments and projectile vomiting, sometimes all three at once. Why can't she have a normal holiday like other people seem to have? Some sun, sea and hopefully sex. So when her employers invite her to attend a conference with them in the south of France, she can't believe her luck. It's certainly going to be the holiday of a lifetime, but not quite in the way Evie imagines. If you haven't read it, you're in for a thrill, particularly if you do like these sorts of genres. If you haven't read it, if you have read it, please leave your comments and your opinions in the comment section below and share with this beautiful growing community. So until next time, and until the next recommendation, take care.